Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel, baby. I think for this video, you're gonna absolutely love it. So I managed to speak to somebody from the NHS, a Bionano Genomics customer, using the Sapphire system. We're also gonna discuss publications coming out of Italy, China, America, Israel, and Japan. Also, Bionano Genomics' role in agriculture and protection of crops and human life. But before we get into that, please hit me with a thumbs up, hit subscribe. If you want to send donations, I've got a PayPal link in my description box below. For some of these videos, we're not getting a lot of views at all. We're covering bingo because we invest in bingo. It's not financial advice for entertainment only, but I try to give you up-to-date information that you'd really like to see, and some information which is quite hard to get, like getting scientists to speak and getting to speak to Bionano Genomics customers. So please, if you're able to donate, send me anything on a PayPal. It will really help out. And I wish you guys all the best, and I hope you enjoy the video. Please remember, it's not financial advice for entertainment only. First things first, I emailed the genetics laboratory, Birmingham Women's and Children's NHS Foundation Trust. I wanted to get some answers with regards to optical genome mapping. Later on in the month of May, we managed to get an email reply back. So it said, "Dear Miguel, I'm a research and development scientist working in WMRGL, and I've been involved in the validation of bionano technology in our department." WMRGL, the West Midlands Regional Genetics Laboratory, is the largest genomics facility in the UK and lead provider for one of the 7 genomic laboratory hubs located in England, the Central and South Genomic Laboratory Hub. This currently serves 11 million people across a large geography. So they emailed me back and they said that they also copied in another clinical scientist in the department. Hold on. Working on the Bionano Genomics project together. To answer your question, we cannot say that if optical genome mapping will be implemented into the NHS service. It is a very good technology with a lot of potential, but it has its own limitations. So the limitations they named, especially current throughput and relatively high cost, does not meet our needs. So Bionano is the technology which is rapidly developing, and the near future predictions include improvements to the above limitations. So they must be talking about the next Sapphire system, or they've heard updates about, I think it's called Stratis, the next Sapphire system. So she went on to say that she's still finalizing the data analysis. They're preparing their current publication and their presentation, and they're open to review it again when they get the next Sapphire system or when the new developments are introduced. So it looks like this customer will then go on to buy the more high throughput Bionano Genomics Sapphire system, which is called the Stratis, I believe. And they said, feel free to contact us if you have more questions. I sent them another email and I'm waiting on their reply. I think that they really think the technology has a lot of potential. They're currently using it for blood cancers, and I believe that when they manage to get the new Sapphire system and they have enough throughput, and if enough adoption happens as well with the Sapphire system, they can bring down the costs of flow cells, and then they'll be able to introduce this and utilize this into the NHS. But for now, they said they can't confirm whether or not optical genome mapping will be implemented. You guys must remember that it is currently being explored in the NHS plan, optical mapping and long read sequencing. So they're being explored currently to sequence parts of the genome that cannot easily be sequenced by other techniques, for example methylation in brain cancers. And remember, there are Sapphire systems within the NHS and also within the university rank for the Russell Group universities here in the UK. So some of those high-class research universities and top level, for example King's College, top level research hospitals have the Sapphire system. Next, let's talk about another study. This is coming out of Italy. So it's feasibility of optical genome mapping in cytogenetic diagnostics of hematological neoplasms, a new way to look at DNA. And if we scroll down here, let's see what they said. In the abstract, it says the studies showed that optical genome mapping can now be considered as a reliable method concordant with the standard cytogenetic techniques, but also able to detect novel clinically relevant structural variants. So this allows them better patient classification, better prognostic stratification, and better therapeutic choices in blood cancers, hematological malignancies. So this is coming out of Italy. One of the scientists that were involved in the publication is Nicoletta Coccaro, pre-publication specializing in also leukemia leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia, cancer biology, cancer diagnostics. This is coming out of Bari, Italy, the university there. Bari is a port city in the Adriatic Sea. Next, moving on, optical genome mapping analysis of a Chinese pedigree with a rare chromosome 17 paracentric inversion insertion. So let's look at the breakdown for this. What they wanted to do, out of where it's coming from: Prenatal Diagnostic Center, Hangzhou Women's Hospital, Hangzhou, Zhejiang, China. The method here was a high-risk pregnant woman was identified at this prenatal diagnosis center in Hangzhou in the Women's Hospital in October 2021, and her family members were selected as the study subjects. So they did some chromosome G banding analysis, some FISH, some single nucleotide polymorphism array, and optical genome mapping were applied to verify the balanced structural abnormality of chromosome 17 in the pedigree. Results. Take a look at this. We can see here that optical genome mapping revealed that the woman carried a paracentric reverse insertion. It was then confirmed by FISH. The karyotype of her husband was normal. So the conclusion was that the duplication of this 17q23q25 in the fetus derived from a paracentric reverse insertion of chromosome 17 in the mother. Optical genome mapping has the advantage for delineated balanced chromosome structural abnormalities. We see it being used also prenatal in China. Flying back over to America, we can see here that the American College of Toxicology has an annual meeting, or they also have a symposium. To Cisco, this was found by Cisco doing his DD on the weekends. We love Cisco. This symposium starts with an introductory overview of emerging and advanced technologies. Then it's going to be followed by a presentation of optical genome mapping, so reviewing the platform. Optical genome mapping technology increases the accuracy to correctly identify sequencing-based errors. They've stated that this greatly complements the available sequencing platforms that we have, such as traditional next-generation sequencing and duplex sequencing. So complementing perhaps Illumina and other next-generation sequencing companies. Over to Israel, they were looking at optical genome mapping and the design of optimal labeling patterns for OGM. They wanted to develop a model of optical genome mapping based on information theory, and they validated the model through experimental OGM on human DNA, but also simulations on bacterial DNA. And the model then predicted that they can improve the accuracy by 10x. Tenfold by optimal choice of labeling patterns. What does this mean? It may guide future development for OGM biochemical labeling methods and significantly improve both accuracy and yield for applications such as epigenomic profiling, cultivation-free pathogen identification in clinical samples. Let's go over to Japan. Oh yeah. So they were looking at optical genome mapping for a patient with a congenital disorder and chromosomal translocations. So let's take a look at some of these professionals. We got a Kento Egikegwa coming out of Tokyo Metropolitan Children's Medical Center, Department of Endocrinology and Metabolism. He was a medical doctor, and we have a pediatrician and scientist at Sushi Ishii. So this guy was also a high-level professor. We can see he is the professor at International University of Health and Welfare in Japan. He's also the vice director of pediatrics in Fukuoka Sano Hospital and a researcher in the Fukuoka University in Japan. But more recently, well, since September 2022, he's doing his PhD. He's doing his PhD research at the University of Arizona Department of Neurology. In terms of the abstract, let's take a look here. So they stated the optical genome mapping also identified in their research 46 additional small structural variants, only 3 of which were detected by array-based comparative genomic hybridization. They also said the optical genome mapping, the results suggest and indicate the optical genome mapping is a powerful tool for detecting and characterizing chromosomal structural variations, although the current methods of OGM data analysis need to be improved. So we can see here, people are saying it's powerful, it has potential, but they need to improve it a little bit more, In terms of agriculture, let's see here, the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences are using Bionano, and they said that they were studying the chromosomal level genome assembly and annotation of the prickly nightshade, Solanum rostratum dunal. This nightshade is a problem and it's causing serious threats to ecosystems, agriculture, animal husbandry, save the husbands, and human health. So the prickly nightshade has globally invaded 34 countries. It's native to North America and it's a problem, apparently. So this is what it looks like. You can see here. And they utilized Pacific Biosciences, Oxford Nanopore Technology. They've also used Hi-C, and they utilized Bionano optical maps. Bionano Genomics currently on the cards. We've got potentially a reverse split coming. They're trying to find money because they need cash runway. They're trying to approach FDA approval. They want to improve the Sapphire system. They want to make sure they can get it out there for their customers and make sure they have the best new developed Sapphire system. The Stratus, they want to make sure it's the best possible and make sure they try and gain adoption. So they're going through all of the research. Price is floating under $1 still. It's about 82 cents. It went down all the way to I think 61 or 62 cents previously. Now it's back at 82 cents. And people are speculating, what are we going to do? Are we going to have to reverse split and we have to raise some cash in order to survive? Are they going to be able to formulate a partnership with another company, or will they be able to approach banks or investment banks and try and secure big juicy loan until their revenue starts to creep up, or they get FDA approval and we start to see a change in the company? Because apparently the inflection point, you know, for me, I don't feel like the inflection point's happened for this company yet. I still see that there's, you know, a lot of people are saying it has potential, but they're saying the machine still needs to improve, as we can see. Customers are saying it doesn't currently meet their needs because they need higher throughput, they need lower costs. And I believe the technology, you know, is amazing. And I think it can help a lot of people. It can help a lot of patients. It can save a lot of lives. It can end a lot of stress for people with rare disease who are going through diagnostic odysseys. But I believe the only way they're going to get there is they need money and they need to be able to continue hitting the ground running. I think this is a blue ocean. I don't believe there's many other companies like there's competitors like Nabsys, and there's other competitors that have shut down previously trying to come back into the game. But Bionano Genomics really needs to really drive and push adoption and get sales, get Sapphire systems out there before competitors come in and try and, you know, catch up, play the catch up game. Or they also need to survive. They need to have enough money and reduce headcount. They said they're going to reduce headcount. They need to reduce their costs. They need to increase their revenues. They have to play the game smart because they've made 2 big acquisitions, one for data analysis afterwards, you know, genomic analysis, the other one for preparing the samples, so having ultra high molecular weight DNA, both very costly and coming with more staff being brought over to Bionano. So current investors are kind of, you know, peed off that they managed to raise money from us. They're diluting us. They're doing you know, at the market. They're going to reverse split and probably do at the market again unless they're able to secure a loan. And when they reverse split, they can also sell, I think it's equity. They can go to like investment banks and sell, you know, a certain shares for a set price. There's ATM and start selling, you know, ATM and start selling at the market value shares. But this will dilute current shareholders. And we need to figure out the best game plan. And if you know, Bionano and the boards want to survive and they care about, you know, shareholders, they also need to, you know, find a way to have returns for the shareholders. It can't just be that we give and we don't get anything and they're enjoying high compensation. It doesn't make sense. I think they should cut compensation, and the compensation should be driven by milestones, sales milestones. I think they're smart. I think they're genius, but I think that they've got too heavy on the cash button, and they've just burnt through so much cash, and now they're coming back to us to, you know, can you help us out? Currently as well, my provider, I have 54,000 shares in one account. In the other account, I have like a few hundred shares. But the 54,000 shares that I have, I'm unable to proxy vote. I can't make a decision or proxy vote. And they said, my provider, that it's coming soon this month, or, you know, in the next few months. And I can't even get to vote on this reverse split. I'm not able to give my opinion, not able to impact it. Currently, we're just eagerly waiting. I believe the technology is fantastic. I believe the management need to improve. Very intelligent, but they've blown through the money. And although they were looking at all bases and seeing, you know, customer queries and how difficult it is to have certain things, and all the customer, like a one-stop solution for OGM. So ultra high molecular weight DNA, help them with the sample prep, boom, improve their workflow, go through the Sapphire system, try and improve the throughput of the Sapphire system, support them as well with developing maybe LDTs. And because LDT, the laboratory developed test regulations, may be coming in place, now they're going after FDA approval. So why didn't we just go after that in the first place with the, you know, the raising of hundreds of mils that we had before? Should have just went straight for it. But they wanted to improve the Sapphire system first, I guess, before they go for it. And then on the back end of things, when you finish off, I think when they purchased BioDiscovery, they also wanted to see what people are looking at currently, what people are exploring, servicing all of the other clients that BioDiscovery already has, and also putting optical genome mapping, being able to analyze that data and put it into like a platform where people can share that data and utilize that data, which will be really helpful for scientists and research to make this one-stop shop, one-stop system. I can see what the game plan is for their blue ocean, but the thing is, they need to survive. They need to survive for now, and they need to make sure that they communicate well with the shareholders. You know, retail here is what saved Bionano Genomics before, a short squeeze and retail just buying into bingo. So I think they need to remember that. They need to remember, you know, it's retail who saved this. Retail really pushed it, and people were interested once the stock price started to fly up. And also once the market was interested, once, you know, retail was interested, a lot of the big boys started to also pile in. Then some had built positions before, previously at 50 cents per share, but a lot of them started to buy quite high as well. So they averaged up, a lot of them, and now they've been averaging down. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I try and always email, you know, get to speak to people within the NHS. I want to speak to Bionano Genomics customers. I've spoken to another customer as well, and he's really bullish on, like, just bullish. He's really enthusiastic about Bionano Genomics being utilized in blood cancers. He really thinks that, you know, it's the real deal. He's like, it's really helpful in cancers, and he believes that, you know, there'll be insurance reimbursement codes coming, and they're just, you know, trying to settle them at the moment. But once they're settled, he thinks that it'll be really helpful. It'll help a lot of patients, and also some of the labs, they can make profit on it. They can make some nice, you know, decent margins depending on how their business is run. So I think it's a win-win for blood cancer, and I think that's why they're targeting that market so heavily at the moment with publications. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're able to donate, please do. There's a PayPal link in my description box below. It just helps me live, it helps me maintain, it encourages me to do videos, because, you know, YouTube, when you're not getting many views, you can see my video views. When you're not getting much views, you're only getting a few dollars per video. Like, it's very small, the earnings from YouTube. And yeah, you'll be surprised. Imagine making like a video, you're devoting weeks into research, trying to email people, get a hold of people, and you make like $10 from a video. So yeah, any donations is welcome. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope this works out. You know, this works out for everybody. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Please remember, none of this is financial advice, for entertainment only. Wishing you the very best. I'm going to keep taking a look and keep researching for you and trying to update you as much as I can. But yeah, wishing you all the best. Have a lovely week ahead. It's now Monday, and yeah, I hope every day that comes is a beautiful day for you and your family. Much love, Mr. Invest a Lot, over and out, baby.